You don't need to what's called be angry, because Dalton Smith isn't a bad replacement. It's just Pete Alonso's been very, very solid, so you can't let Dom start over Pete on the everyday basis. But it's always good to have him mix and maybe get trade stock up. But that's about it. Biggest disappointment this year, Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz has blown way too many saves for what we traded him for. We traded the future MVP and Jared Kelenic. A solid pitcher out of Justin Dunn. Garrison Batista could be a solid bullpen person in our bullpen right now, but this just isn't what we traded for. I'm very disappointed in how we've been playing this year. So those are my awards, and that's going to do it for the 2019 first half review. But I'm just going to go in a little bit of my thoughts of what's going on in the situation. I do not know what's going on. Actually, I know it's definitely what's going on right now. It's just we don't have the chemistry, it doesn't look like. No, none of our pitchers like pitching to Ramos. Syndergaard refuses to. DeGrom, as mentioned, he doesn't want to say it, but he's been initiating, and hinting he likes Nido catching him, and DeGrom needs a good catcher catching him. He had Mesoraco last year. Mesoraco was a phenomenal catcher. Wilson Ramos is not a phenomenal catcher, and DeGrom just needs a good catcher to work with. Like you saw at this All-Star game, he had a good catcher behind the plate, and I believe it was Wilson Contreras, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a good catcher, so he just needs a good catcher, and so does Syndergaard too. So yeah, that leads me to my next point. There's been a lot of rumors going around. So there's been a lot of rumors going around if the Mets could be, that the Brewers and the Astros have really shown interest in, right-handed pitcher Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard has been in the Mets organization for quite some time, since the R.A. Dickey trade, with the Blue Jays. So so they show a lot of interest in him. I wouldn't say trade him right now, immediately, but I would definitely say look for a deal, and if they overpay, we have to take it. So this is gonna lead me to my last and final segment. I don't know how much time we have today. I don't know if we're gonna go with I think we're gonna go with a 30-minute episode today. So we have about 10 minutes left. And it's going to be, should the Mets buy or sell at the trade deadline? And I just did a post on this on my page, so you guys can check it out. But I'm going to give you even more of my opinion on this podcast right now. With the trade deadline approaching us on the 31st of the month of July, the Mets are going to have to make a pretty big decision, if they're going to buy or sell. Not going to make or break our future for the next 5 years. So it's, are we going to buy or are we going to sell? And many rumors have been going around like we could be selling or something. It looks like the Mets could be selling this offseason, potentially moving pieces like Zach Wheeler, Jason Vargas, and guys like Todd Frazier, and even Noah Syndergaard and Wilson Ramos. So my take on this whole situation, I think there's a lot of positives in trading certain pieces. These pieces, I would like to see traded for prospects and cash considerations, or I like to see Zach Wheeler, Jason Vargas, and Todd Frazier. All these guys just traded. They're on their last year of their contract. There's no point keeping them. So yeah, I want to do what we did with Familia and Asdrubal Cabrera last season. And Jose Batista. There's no point in keeping them, and they have value. We got some pretty solid. We got a pretty solid prospect for Asdrubal Cabrera. Unfortunately, he has to go under Tommy John surgery, but he was actually a pretty good prospect before that. So it shows if he didn't get injured, then it just sucks he got injured. You couldn't have predicted that, but it just shows you how much you could get for someone that's decent, like Todd Frazier. Todd Frazier could be a really, really good bench bat, I'm telling you. Or even a good every other day player, like Dom Smith has been for the Mets this season. So I think that, I think we should try and do that with, Jason Vargas. Jason Vargas has been very good this season. I don't think his value's going to fool people to trade them, good prospects or something like that. But I think we could get, a good, solid prospect or two like we did for Familia last season. We got 2 prospects, one reliever and one third baseman, and that reliever got us Keon Broxton, who did not turn out well, so flipping them was not the best idea. But I said there was no point in keeping those 3 I just named before: Todd Frazier, Jason Vargas, and Zach Wheeler. I'd be more hesitant towards trading Wilson Ramos or even Noah Syndergaard. I would be because Wilson Ramos and Noah Syndergaard aren't on their final year of their contract, and it's we don't really need to force anything. We could do it this all season where teams could we can talk more to teams. Now teams are, who knows what teams want to do. Teams like the Dodgers or the Rays could be looking for a steady catcher, as the Rays traded him last year, but they clearly love Wilson Ramos on their team, as he had a pretty good year with them before being traded to the Phillies, I believe. Yeah, so Noah Syndergaard. We can't be throwing Noah Syndergaard around, as we all know. Noah Syndergaard is a very valuable piece, and we have to wait for the right deal if we're going to trade him. If we're going to trade Noah Syndergaard, we need to get a lot for him, and then maybe package him with Robinson Cano. Maybe get rid of his contract. If a team's really attracted to Noah Syndergaard, make them take a little bit of I'd say make them take half of Robinson Cano's contract, like the Mariners did to us. I know many teams might not want Robinson Cano, but if they're that attracted to Noah Syndergaard, they might just have to take it like we had to do with Edwin Diaz. But clearly we lost that trade, so who knows what teams will do anymore. Those are the potential pieces we should trade. And do you think, and you might be asking, do you think we should trade or sell at the deadline? I personally think we should sell a little bit. I wouldn't say fully rebuild. If we're gonna fully rebuild, I wouldn't do it. I actually wouldn't fully rebuild. I'll do a little rebuild, trading those few guys I named earlier. I wouldn't trade unless we get something good for Syndergaard, some really, really good prospects. I would try and trade Syndergaard like he's an ace or a 2. If we're going to trade him like he's a 4 or 5, we're going to get nothing for him, and then he's going to be a decent player in the future, and we're going to lose another trade. So we need to be careful on who we deal and who we don't. But I would say we don't rebuild because we're only a few pieces away from winning. If we had a steady bullpen and we won most of our games, we'd be above a 500 team, believe it or not. And even if they only won some of those games, we'd still be a wild card team. It's just we need help in our bullpen. Our bullpen just sucks and then gets injured, and then we have to bring up guys like Chris Flexen, Corey Oswalt, Steven Nogosek, and as people like to say, who are these guys? And it's exactly who are these guys? They shouldn't be in the major leagues. They have they're struggling in AAA. So why are we bringing them up? They clearly aren't ready, and that's what loses us games. People like these just don't know how to pitch at a major league level yet. So it's just weird. The situation the Mets are in right now. We won in an all-win mode right now, and now we're just choking it. But excuse me. So we definitely have to trade Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's been attracted by many teams, such as the Yankees. The Yankees have shown a lot of interest in him as he could be a 5. I wouldn't say we're going to get anything good for Zach Wheeler, but I would say we could get a good prospect or two from their low minor league system. So, and for Jason Vargas, as I said earlier, I don't think his value will trick anyone into giving us good prospects. But even if we can get that one little prospect who could be packaged in a deal in the future, or maybe can actually grow into be a really good player, who knows? Like, all these little people, if they're developed the right way and get the right coaching in the minor leagues, and just like maybe grow a little bit depending on their age, that could be huge for the Mets, as we are lacking a lot of stuff in our farm system right now, including catchers. So maybe we look for a catcher if we trade Wilson Ramos, we have to get a catcher back, a good catching prospect. So but yeah, we definitely have to be hesitant who we trade. But I just hope Brody realizes we're not in a win mode right now. It just kind of sucks because he thinks we, as he said before, come and get us. And I just hope he realizes we are the ones to come and get the Phillies and Braves. We're in a really tough division too, so Brody has to use his mind and like realize we're in a tough division. The Braves are going to be good for the next 5-10 years, as they have a good core in their youth and they extended them for like the next 7 years or something stupid like that. Yeah, so it's going to be a tough division to compete in for the next few years. So if we could get a good farm, that would be huge, as we could compete with the Braves farm system that's coming up soon. But yeah, so we're just gonna do a little bit of a summary on what we talked about tonight. In case you guys tuned in a little late, we talked about how we're 40-50, and we gave our team leaders, we gave our team awards, we gave our all-star summary with Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Jacob deGrom, and Anthony Kay. And yeah, so we talked about all the rumors that went around. So, and a quick minor league. I like to do a quick minor league report before I end every episode. And that's gonna be so. But we had with our international sign last year, catcher Francisco Alvarez, and our first round pick this year, Brett Beatty, went back-to-back home runs in Kingsport recently today to lead off the game. So it's good to see our first round pick and our international sign this year produce. Our first round pick, Brett Beatty, has been struggling in rookie ball, as he's went 1 for 17 with one hit, and that happens to be the home run today. So he's not off the hot start, but he's only like 17, 18 years old. He's plenty of time to develop, but hopefully we don't trade him for anyone, as he's clearly could be something special in the future. But I like our future catcher, Francisco Alvarez. I can see him being like a Salvador Perez kind of guy. He has a good arm and all that. So yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap everything up here. There hasn't been very much to talk about, so I'm sorry for the short episode. I feel like I covered everything that's going on in the past few weeks for the Mets since last time I saw you guys last Thursday. So that's everything we saw. Yeah, so I hope to see you guys next Thursday on the Amazing Mets podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the the podcast. Hope you guys learned a little bit. I'll see you guys I believe in 3 weeks, as I will be taking a little bit of a break, and you'll see my buddy Sal for the next 2 weeks. So hope you guys enjoy that. So I can't wait to see what goes on with the Mets for the next few games. So hopefully by the next time I see you guys, we are currently in a winning position. But I hope to see you guys soon. Yeah, so hopefully the Mets are... Actually, the next time I'll see you is right after the trade deadline. So we'll see what trades we make. So I'll be covering all the trades and news and rumors the next time I see you guys in a few Thursdays. So see you guys later, and hope let's go Mets, baby.